Let me tell you something, ladies. Men are not as complicated as they seem. But the truth is, most men are scared to show how deeply they feel. They've been raised to be tough, to never look vulnerable, and to never admit that someone has their heart. But when a man truly catches feelings for you, his actions will speak louder than any words he could ever say. You just have to know what to look for. The first thing you got to understand is this: men show love differently than women. Women express, men protect, women talk, men act. When a man is falling for you, he'll start doing things that even surprise himself. 1, he gets nervous around you. When a man's hiding deep feelings, he's not smooth. He's awkward. He stumbles over his words, forgets what he was saying, or fidgets when you look him in the eye. You know why? Because he cares what you think. You mean something to him, and that pressure gets real. He's not trying to impress anymore. He's trying not to mess it up. When a man gets nervous around you, that's one of the purest and most honest signs that he's hiding deep feelings. See, men are taught all their lives to act confident, to stay in control, to never let their emotions show. They walk around trying to be the strong one, the funny one, the one who's got everything figured out. But the moment a woman walks into his life who touches something deeper, who makes his heart skip a beat, all that coolness starts to fade away. He's not tripping over his words because he's shy or weak. He's nervous because for the first time, he cares about what happens next. He's nervous because how you see him suddenly matters more than he wants to admit. That nervousness you see, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a window into his heart. When he's talking to you and his voice cracks a little, when his hands fidget, or he can't maintain steady eye contact, what he's really showing you is vulnerability. He's feeling something that's bigger than his pride, something that shakes his comfort zone. Deep down, he's afraid of saying the wrong thing, of doing something that makes you lose interest. He doesn't want to mess up because you matter to him in a way other people don't. He could talk to anyone else easily, but with you, he gets nervous because your opinion touches his soul. You might notice little things too. Maybe when you compliment him, he blushes or tries to change the subject. Maybe he laughs too loud at your jokes, or maybe he gets quiet because he's trying not to say too much. He's not playing games. He's just trying to figure out how to be around someone who makes his heart race. That nervous energy is his heart trying to speak through his body. It's like every cell in him is aware that you're near. He might adjust his shirt, fix his posture, or run his hand through his hair without even realizing it. That's instinct kicking in. His nerves are saying, I need to look my best for her. Sometimes women think a nervous man means he's unsure or uninterested, but the truth is the opposite. The men who act overly confident, who flirt too easily, often don't have deep emotions involved. But the man who stumbles, hesitates, or avoids too much eye contact, that's the man fighting feelings he's not ready to confess. He's battling between wanting to tell you and being afraid of how you'll react. Because if you don't feel the same, it's not just rejection to him, it's heartbreak. That nervousness is his guard shaking. His feelings are leaking out no matter how hard he tries to hide them. You'll see it in how he prepares to see you. Maybe he changes his outfit twice before meeting you. Maybe he checks his reflection one extra time. He wants to make a good impression because you're not just another person. He's already imagining something deeper. And when you talk, he listens closely, even if he's pretending to be casual. He's soaking in your words, your tone, the way you smile, that nervousness. It's the sound of his heart speeding up every time you look at him. And don't mistake it for weakness. A man who's nervous around you isn't weak. He's human. He's just not used to being emotionally exposed. For a man, showing nerves means he's letting his guard down, and that's not easy. He's stepping into territory where he doesn't have control. It's not about fear of you. It's fear of what he's feeling. Because once a man feels something real, he knows he's at risk of falling hard. So if you ever notice a man acting a little awkward, fumbling his words, or getting quiet when you're near, don't take it lightly. That's not confusion. That's not hesitation. It's emotion trying to find its way out. His nerves are his heart's way of whispering, "She matters." And even if he never says it out loud, his behavior will tell you everything. The tremble in his voice, the quick glances, the small smiles he tries to hide, all of it adds up to one thing. He's feeling something real, and he's doing his best not to let it show too soon. Two, he remembers the little things. See, when a man is emotionally invested, he notices details most people miss. The way you laugh, your favorite drink, that one story you told 3 months ago, he remembers it all. Because in his mind, you're not just someone he likes, you're someone he's trying to understand. When a man remembers the little things about you, it's not just a sweet habit, it's a deep emotional signal. Most men aren't naturally wired to hold on to small details unless something truly matters to them. But when a man starts recalling tiny moments, random facts, or things you said in passing, it means you've taken up space in his mind. You've gone from being someone he knows to someone he's thinking about even when you're not around. That kind of memory isn't casual, it's personal. It's how men express affection without putting it into words. Think about it. You mention your favorite coffee flavor once, and weeks later, he shows up with it without asking. You tell him about a movie you wanted to see, and suddenly he remembers it when it's available. You share something small, like how you used to watch the rain from your window as a child, and the next time it rains, he texts you, "I thought of you." That's not coincidence. That's a man's heart paying attention. He's storing up moments with you, not because he's trying to impress you, but because he genuinely values what you say. When a man is hiding deep feelings, remembering details becomes his secret way of connecting. He might not have said, "I love you," but he's listening to everything you say like it matters. He's watching how you move, the way you smile when you're happy, the tone of your voice when you're sad. Every little detail becomes a piece of the picture he's building in his mind. And you can see it in how he responds. When you're tired, he somehow knows what to say to comfort you. When you're stressed, he remembers what calms you down. He may not know how to express emotions directly, but he shows his care through attentiveness. Most women underestimate how powerful that is. Men aren't as vocal as women when it comes to feelings. They're not always going to text long messages or talk about emotions. But the man who listens when you think he's not, who remembers what you said even when you've forgotten yourself, that's a man who's quietly falling for you. It's not just memory, it's emotional investment. You've touched something inside him that makes him want to know you deeply. You'll see it in how he adjusts his behavior. Maybe you once mentioned you hate being late, and he's suddenly the guy who always shows up early. Or you said you like sunflowers, and he brings you one just because. He's not doing those things for everyone. He's doing them for you because your words stayed with him. And men only hold on to what they care about. If he remembers how you take your coffee, what your favorite song is, or even what color you said makes you feel confident, that's not just attention. That's affection disguised as awareness. Even in conversation, you'll notice it. You might bring up something and he'll say, "Yeah, you told me that last time." Or you'll mention a friend and he remembers the name. That means he's not just hearing you, he's listening with intention. He's keeping those details because they make him feel closer to you, even if he's not ready to show it outright. A man doesn't replay just anyone's words in his head, only the words of the woman who's got his heart tangled in silence. Sometimes this remembering comes with emotional protection. He recalls the things that hurt you, the boundaries you've set, or the people who've disappointed you. He won't always say, "I'm protecting you," but he'll be careful not to cross those lines. He'll avoid repeating mistakes others made because he paid attention when you shared what broke your heart. That's how he quietly tells you, I'm different. I see you. The truth is, men may not always write poems or express their love in grand gestures, but their memory, that's where they hide their feelings. Every remembered laugh, every saved message, every mental note of what makes you happy, that's his way of saying you matter. Because when a man loves, even silently, his mind becomes a map of everything that reminds him of you. And no matter how hard he tries to play it cool, every remembered detail gives him away. 3, he gets jealous but tries to hide it. Now, I'm not talking about toxic jealousy. I'm talking about that quiet, protective kind. When another man shows interest, he feels it deep down. He might not say anything, but you'll see it in his eyes. That's his heart saying, I want her, but I'm scared she might not want me back. When a man gets jealous but tries to hide it, that's one of the most revealing signs that he's hiding deep feelings for you. He might not say anything out loud, but his silence speaks volumes. You'll notice it in the shift of his energy, the look in his eyes, the slight change in his tone. He tries to play it cool, act like it doesn't bother him, but inside, he feels that sting, that quiet ache that comes from caring too much. Men don't get jealous over people they don't value. They get jealous when something or someone threatens what they secretly wish was theirs. Now, let's be real. There's a difference between jealousy and insecurity. The kind of jealousy that shows deep feeling isn't loud or possessive. It's not about control. It's that quiet moment when he sees you talking to another man and suddenly he's not as talkative. His eyes drift toward you more often. He listens to your laughter from across the room and feels a pang in his chest he can't explain. That's not anger. That's fear. Fear that someone else might notice what he sees in you. Fear that someone else might win your heart before he finds the courage to tell you how he feels. Men are taught to hide this emotion because jealousy exposes vulnerability, and men hate feeling vulnerable. They'd rather stay silent than risk looking weak or needy. So he won't confront you, he won't ask questions, but he'll start acting differently. Maybe he gets distant after seeing you with someone else, or he suddenly becomes extra attentive. That's his way of fighting with himself. Part of him wants to pull back. The other part wants to pull you closer. His emotions are louder than his logic, but he's doing everything he can to keep them in check. You might notice subtle changes. He starts texting you a little more when he knows you're out. He jokes about other men, but watches closely to see how you respond. He'll say something playful like, "So who was that guy?" But behind that smile is a heartbeat that's racing. He's trying to sound casual while testing the waters. He wants reassurance without asking for it. And when you tell him there's nothing going on, you'll see a small relief in his eyes, like he just took a breath he didn't realize he was holding. Jealousy in a man like that often shows through protection. 2, he might warn you about people, telling you who he thinks doesn't have good intentions. He'll say things like, "Just be careful with him," or "I don't trust that guy." What he really means is, "I don't want you to get hurt." But deep down, he's also saying, "I don't want anyone else to have what I wish I could." It's a mix of love, fear, and pride, all tangled up in silence. Sometimes his jealousy will show in small, unspoken reactions. When you talk about another man, his smile fades for a second. When you mention someone who complimented you, he changes the subject. He might even tease you, trying to hide the discomfort behind humor. But every joke has a little truth behind it. He's struggling between wanting to be honest about how he feels and wanting to protect his ego. Because the moment he admits jealousy, he's admitting he cares more than he should. For some men, that jealousy becomes motivation. It pushes them to show up more, to prove their worth, to make sure you see what makes them different. He might start complimenting you more, or suddenly he's more available. That's not coincidence. That's a man trying to remind you and himself that he still has a chance. It's his way of saying, I see what's happening, but I'm still here. The quiet kind of jealousy, the one he tries to hide, is often the purest sign of deep emotion. It's not about wanting to own you. It's about being scared to lose you. It's the feeling of knowing you're special, but not being sure if he has the right to say it out loud. That conflict eats at him. He smiles when you smile, but inside, he wonders if someone else will get to keep that smile one day. And that's the struggle of a man in love, but too afraid to confess it. His pride won't let him show it, but his eyes always will. Every glance, every silence, every small shift in his energy tells the truth. He's hiding feelings that are far too deep to ignore. 4, he goes out of his way for you. A man who's hiding feelings will do small things. Fixing something you didn't ask him to, checking if you got home safe, helping you out even when it's inconvenient. That's love in motion. He may not say it, but he's showing you, I got you. When a man goes out of his way for you, it's not random kindness. It's his love language speaking quietly through his actions. Men are not always great with words, but when they care, they show it in how they move, how they act, how they make your life just a little easier without ever needing recognition. If a man is hiding deep feelings for you, one of the clearest ways to see it is through what he does for you, especially when he doesn't have to. It's not about the grand gestures or the expensive gifts. It's the small, consistent things that reveal his heart. He might drive across town just to help you with something minor, even though he's tired. He'll show up when you mention you're not feeling well. He'll remember that you needed something fixed or that you were worried about a problem, and before you even ask, he's already thinking about how to make it better. That's a man acting out of quiet affection. He's not doing it because he wants something in return. He's doing it because making your life smoother gives him purpose. It's how he feels close to you without having to say a word. Men like to feel needed. But when a man goes out of his way repeatedly, sacrificing time, energy, and comfort just to be there for you, it's not about ego anymore. It's about emotion. He might say things like, it's no big deal, or I was in the area anyway. But you'll know it's more than that. Because if he were really just in the area, he wouldn't be there every time. He's making excuses to justify his own actions, because even he might not be ready to admit why he's doing so much. His heart is ahead of his words. You can tell a lot about a man's feelings by how he treats your needs. When he's truly invested, your happiness becomes a quiet priority for him. He'll check in to see if you got home safely, send a message to make sure you're okay, or offer help before you even think to ask. It's those thoughtful, unprompted gestures that reveal what he's feeling deep down. He may not confess love, but his consistency speaks louder than any declaration ever could. Sometimes he'll try to hide the intention behind it. He'll act like he's just being helpful, like it's casual. But pay attention. He doesn't go out of his way for everyone. He's choosing you over and over again. When a man is secretly in love, effort becomes natural. It's not a chore, it's a reflex. He doesn't calculate how much he's doing or whether you'll notice. He just wants to be part of your world, to make your days a little brighter, even if it means putting his own aside for a moment. That's why, when something goes wrong in your life, he's one of the first to show up. He's there when others aren't. When you're sad, he listens. When you're struggling, he offers solutions. He won't always have the right words, but he'll do something. Bring food, give a ride, offer a shoulder. That's his way of saying, I care. A man's love often hides in his efforts, and the man who's secretly in love will never let you face things alone, even if all he can do is stand by your side. Sometimes he'll disguise his care with humor. He'll say, don't worry, I got this, or joke about being your personal assistant. But deep down, every small act is fueled by something he's not ready to name: devotion. The things he does aren't just favors. They're pieces of his heart handed to you one gesture at a time. Even when he's busy, he'll find a way to check in. Even when he's exhausted, he'll still show up. That's not convenience. That's commitment. The truth is, when a man goes out of his way for you, he's silently telling you how much he values you. His effort is his confession. Every little thing he does, every time he shows up when no one else does, is his heart speaking in its own language. He may not say the words, but his actions are writing a story that's hard to ignore. Because love doesn't always need to be spoken. Sometimes it's carried in the simple things a man does again and again, just to see you smile. 5, he opens up little by little. Men are taught to keep walls up. But when he starts sharing his fears, his dreams, and his failures, that's a big deal. That means he trusts you. And trust, ladies, is the doorway to a man's heart. When a man starts to open up to you little by little, that's when you begin to see the real depth of his feelings. Most men have been taught from a young age to keep their emotions locked away. Society tells them to be strong, to stay silent, to never show fear or pain. They build walls around their hearts, not because they don't feel, but because they've been told that showing feelings is weakness. So when a man begins to let you see what's behind those walls, it means you've reached a place in his life that few people ever do. At first, he might only reveal small things, a story from his past, a tough time he went through, or something that makes him nervous. It might seem ordinary, but for him, those small confessions are a big step. It's not easy for a man to trust someone enough to let them see the parts of him that aren't perfect. He's testing the waters, trying to see if you'll understand him, if you'll judge him, or if you'll just listen. And when you respond with kindness instead of criticism, that's when he starts to relax. That's when he feels safe enough to open up more. A man in love doesn't start by saying, "I love you." He starts by showing you his truth, the real him beneath the surface. He'll share his dreams, but also his fears. He'll tell you what he wants out of life, but also what's held him back. When he's hiding deep feelings, he might struggle to put everything into words, but his willingness to try means everything. Every time he shares a personal story, every time he lets you see his insecurities, it's his heart's way of saying, "I trust you with me." A trust is not something men give easily. They might share jokes, make conversation, or flirt, but emotional openness is something sacred. When a man starts letting you into that space, it's because you've earned his respect. You've shown him that you're not just interested in his surface. You care about his soul. That kind of bond doesn't come quickly. It grows slowly, in quiet conversations, in late night talks, in moments when he lets down his guard without realizing it. Sometimes he'll reveal things unintentionally. You'll notice him mentioning a painful memory or a personal struggle, then trying to laugh it off like it's no big deal. But it is. Because men hide pain behind humor when they're not ready to deal with it out loud. The fact that he shared it with you at all means he feels safe in your presence. He's giving you glimpses into the parts of his life that most people never see. And that's a sure sign of emotional intimacy. Opening up also means he starts involving you in his thoughts and decisions. He'll ask your opinion, talk to you about his plans, or seek your perspective on things that matter to him. That's not just conversation, that's partnership. He values your voice, and in his mind, he's starting to see you as someone who belongs in his world. The more he trusts you, the more transparent he becomes. And when a man who's used to hiding finally finds someone he can be honest with, that's when love begins to grow in the most genuine way. He may not call it love yet. He might still act like he's just being friendly or open, but pay attention to how his openness deepens over time. He'll talk about things he's never told anyone else. He'll start to express emotions he didn't think he could share. He might tell you about his childhood, his failures, or the moments that shaped him. And when he does that, he's giving you the most precious thing he has, his truth. For a man, vulnerability is not weakness. It's trust in its purest form. It means he sees you as someone worthy of his honesty, someone who won't weaponize his feelings or walk away when he's real. When he opens up to you, it's not just conversation, it's connection. It's his quiet way of saying, you've become someone I can be myself with. And that's how love starts, not in the loud moments, but in the quiet honesty that only two hearts can share. 6, he protects you even when he's not around. If a man speaks well of you behind your back, if he defends your name when you're not in the room, that's a man with deep feelings. Real men protect what they value. So if you notice these signs, understand this, his silence doesn't mean he doesn't care. Some men just love in quiet ways. They love through action, through patience, through consistency. And when that man finally opens up, when he finally tells you what's in his heart, don't make fun of it. Don't take it lightly. Because for him, that's everything. When a man protects you, even when he's not around, that's one of the strongest signs he's hiding deep feelings for you. A man's natural instinct is to protect what he values, what he respects, and what he quietly loves. Even if he hasn't said the words out loud, his actions will reveal everything. He'll make sure you're safe. He'll care about how others treat you, and he'll defend your name when you're not there to hear it. That's not something men do for everyone. That's something they do when their heart is involved, when they feel a sense of responsibility for someone who means something real to them. Protection doesn't always look like physical defense. Sometimes it's emotional, mental, and even spiritual. You might not see it, but he's watching how people talk to you. He's noticing who drains your energy, who disrespects you, and who genuinely has your back. And without making a big scene, he steps in when it matters. If someone tries to bring you down, he'll speak up. If someone's taking advantage of you, he'll let them know they can't. When you're not there, he'll make sure others speak of you with respect. That's love operating in silence, the kind that doesn't need attention but runs deep in loyalty. You'll notice it in how he checks up on you, not out of control, but out of care. He'll text you to make sure you got home safe. He'll remind you to eat when you're busy or to rest when you're overworked. To him, these little gestures are not chores, they're natural. That protective nature is his heart saying, I want to see you okay. When a man feels that way about a woman, he becomes attentive in ways he never thought he would. He starts thinking about your well-being as if it's part of his own. Sometimes he'll protect you in ways you don't even realize. He might step back from something if he knows it could bring you stress. He might stay quiet instead of arguing because he doesn't want to hurt you. He might even distance himself for a while if he thinks you need space or peace. That's not weakness. That's emotional maturity. That's a man who puts your comfort above his own ego. And that kind of protection, the kind that comes from self-control, is one of the purest forms of love there is. Men also protect through encouragement. When you doubt yourself, he reminds you of your strength. When you're lost, he points you back to your purpose. He doesn't just want to keep you safe. He wants to see you rise. He'll support your dreams, defend your potential, and push you to believe in yourself when you forget how. Because in his mind, protecting you means more than guarding your body. It means guarding your spirit. He wants you to be unbreakable, even when he's not beside you. There's also a quiet kind of protection that lives in his respect. He won't gossip about you. He won't use your secrets as weapons, and he won't let others do it either. When you tell him something personal, he keeps it safe like it's sacred. He doesn't use your vulnerability against you. He honors it. And that's what makes a man's care so powerful. It's not loud. It's not dramatic, but it's steady and real. He protects you because your peace matters to him more than his pride. Even when he's not around, he's still thinking about you, hoping you're okay, praying things go well, wishing you happiness. He doesn't have to be in your presence to feel connected. His love moves with you, even in silence. That's why when people talk about love being action, not words, this is what they mean. Because love isn't just about romance. It's about showing up for someone, even when they don't see it happening. A man who's hiding deep feelings won't always say, "I'll protect you," but you'll feel it in how he moves. You'll see it in his choices, his loyalty, and the way he always seems to look out for you without being asked. He may never call it love, but that protective instinct, that invisible shield he builds around you, is proof that he feels something strong, something deep, something real. Because when a man truly cares, he doesn't just love with his heart. He loves with his actions, with his presence, and even with his silence.